Welcome to the 30-minute chart club. This is where we review the most liquid stocks that we like to trade. They're optionable. If you have a small account, well, you could use options to trade these names. You could sell premium or you could buy premium, whatever you want to do. So these are the ones that I feel most comfortable with trading in and out of. Tight markets, always critical. If you're watching us on the replay, you want to join the live stream, you want to join the conversation, please use the link below. Sign up for the 30-minute chart club and get your invitation to the future sessions. Why do we keep this private? We get spam on our live streams. Sometimes we get some side chatter about a lot of things, and we just want to stay focused on the charts at hand. And we try to keep it to about 30 minutes. And believe me, on the live streams, I love when the conversation gets going. We go off in different directions, and that's all good stuff. But that's not the purpose of this live stream. It's to be more focused on potential setups that are out there. Now, I just sent out Market Wrap to members, and that's where we review the closing price action of the stock market. We talk about strategy. We talk about events, and we did have an event today. And I'm going to go over it because before we go into the 30-minute charts and we say, okay, this looks like a good setup, that looks like a good setup. Well, first we need to understand what kind of a market are we trading? Is this a market where a 30-minute chart is oversold? We want to go in, we want to start nibbling as an investment? No. Is this a market where we're seeing selling pressure build and we know that it could be oversold on a 30-minute chart, lift up, then roll right back over again? Yeah. So can we trade it for a swing trade higher? Yes. Can we watch for a lower high on the 30-minute chart and then a rollover and then short into it? Yes. Rarely in this kind of a market are you going to find new investment vehicles at which you're going to want to join in on. And I'm going to tell you why in a moment. So I started this out saying, we just went over Market Wrap. The video did not work. I see Franklin on here. The video did not work. It's only an MP3. There are a couple of charts I want to go over before we go to the 30-minute charts because today was a very eventful day. And for those, again, watching this on the restream, you want to get invited in the future, use the link below, enter your email address here. We hate spam too. Let's get to it. So most every weekend, I talk about the yield curve. And I just went over this on Market Wrap with members, but unfortunately, when I went to go edit it, the video, again, did not take. So all the members have tonight is the audio, which is, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. So let's take a look at this. So I want you to pay attention to this candlestick here. This is a monthly chart of the yield curve. If you joined in on Sunday night Futures Live last night, this wick was nowhere near as long as it is tonight. And I've always said, be careful using monthly charts here. You got to worry about the steepening of the yield curve, but you don't want to be premature with your trades. You don't want to get too short the market as we have been these past several days because the market could go against you and rip your face off, and then you're left with egg on your face. But what I have gone over with members is the weekly chart. The weekly chart. And when you take a look at a weekly chart, while this chart here is not all that threatening, things began to change today. And here you have it. We have a breakout out of a downtrend channel on a weekly time frame. Does that mean you go running in and shorting the market tomorrow morning? No, it's only Tuesday, right? Three trading days left to go. The holiday threw me off. 3 trading days left to go. I don't know whether or not we're going to close and break out. Maybe we'll give it all back. Maybe we'll go to new all-time highs in the equity markets this week for all I know. I'm not that smart. What we do here is pay attention to the probabilities. The probability that we are now breaking out of this downtrend channel is very high because this is what you call the 2s versus 10s yield curve. 2-year yield versus 30-year yield. The 2-year yield today hit highs not seen since, oddly enough, before the last major financial crisis in 2007. Take note of the RSI, higher lows, Stokes, higher lows, and threatening to move up higher again. And in fact, in January, you put in a new weekly higher high versus the prior high on the stochastics. Things are beginning to firm up here. Again, the purpose of this commentary is to go over 30-minute, very, very short-term setups. But we need to understand the market in which we are trading. So, does this influence tomorrow's price action? A little bit. To me, how I'll trade this market. Is it influencing the way I'm going to play this market longer term? No doubt about it. Because we want to short the market. And our shorts worked out very, very well today. And we're going to remain short. We added more today. We'll look to add more in the coming days. I want to see if we break weekly, monthly support. And we'll know in a few short trading days. And if that begins to happen and down volume begins to climb and we get the yield curve going in the wrong direction, the path of least resistance is beginning to change. Let's get to it. All right, so along with the yield curve, which I wouldn't normally bring up on this live stream, we want to take a look at, of course, two things. One, Qs, 30-minute time frame. How are they setting up? Because we're going to trade, or we're going to review mostly technology stocks here. They'll trade along with the triple Qs by and large. So we want to know how the Qs are setting up, because if they look like they're probably going to move up higher, and we have a chart like Adobe or Airbnb or whatever that looks like a good setup, well, in all probability, it'll trade higher along with the triple Qs. So the Qs closed out the session pretty weak today. I do believe we are going lower here, even though these Stokes are very oversold. And this kind of goes to what I mentioned at the beginning here, in that, you know, the 30-minute chart could look pretty oversold. Stochastics had flatlined, and you could expect a counter trend move, but then all of a sudden it rolls back over again, right? So this market's so weak, even on a 30-minute time frame, you can't get back above 50. Now, maybe this is a double bottom setup, and we'll get the setup that drives us up higher for a short covering rally. Does it last? I doubt it. So I think that we're probably coming down to 390, 392 in that ballpark. Could be as soon as tomorrow morning with a gap lower. I'm not saying we are going to gap lower. Maybe they'll gap it higher. But ultimately, I think any gap is going to get faded, and ultimately we're going to come down to 290, if not a little bit lower, maybe even 280. Yeah, 290. No, 290 is right. 290 is right. Now, we also want to take a look at the VIX. What's the VIX telling us? 30-minute chart. It wants to go higher. So we got to take our crayon out and respect the VIX. And you could draw this any number of ways. There's your uptrend channel. You want to do one of these. Oops. Well, you want to do one of these, an early warning signal breakdown or an early warning signal breakout. Okay, whatever. But what I expect to happen here is that we're going to do one of these where we'll probably move lower, then rip higher. So before we get into the equity markets and we look at individual stocks, let's spend a moment and talk about what we just went over. We know on a macro basis, the yield curve is beginning to steepen, bearish. Qs finished out the day weak, did not close at support. Are they flatlining on the stochastic, which is a momentum indicator? Yeah. Does that mean that we've hit a bottom? No. We hit a bottom at a support level. We're not there yet. So I think we pressed lower. So while we will probably see setups that are looking good right now, we want to make sure that the overall market has tested the bottom, that it's held, and then we can look to trade it up. So let's begin. And we always go over the same charts. Maybe I'll swap in a couple of charts or swap out. But by and large, we've settled on some specific charts. And let's begin with Airbnb. Now, Airbnb is weak. Stokes are drifting up higher. I am not loving the setup here. And in fact, we need to get our now this is a democracy, folks. So in the end, we can always debate which ones we like the most and add them to our watch list here on TrendSpider. If you're not using TrendSpider, 35% discount code below. So we will replace probably all of these. Maybe not Google. We'll take a look at Google in a moment. But we will add these to our watch list, set up some alerts, and we'll prepare ourselves for the new trading day. So let's get to it. Airbnb, not much happening here. I'm not loving this. No washout as of yet. Adobe, RSI is kind of oversold. We were worse. We're drifting up higher now. A little bit of a reversal bar at the close on volume. Good close today on Adobe. Here's the higher lows on RSI. And for those folks that are wondering, what do these mean? RSI, stochastics, they're momentum indicators. Are you building momentum? Are you losing momentum? Are you overbought? Are you oversold? And you trade accordingly. No breakout. We are in an ever tightening descending wedge formation. While I'm not going to be the least bit surprised to see Adobe break lower tomorrow, I think that if we begin to probe around 340, I think we need to look at it as a short-term swing trade. Or we could sell premium, depending upon if the options are expensive or not. And this is a stock that's $340 or so. Will I be going in and buying the common stock? No. I will be buying a call spread, meaning buying an in-the-money call option and simultaneously selling a deep out-of-the-money option. That reduces my upside potential, but it also reduces the buying power I have to put up. It acts as a hedge. So that's one way to play this one. It's the only way I would play this one if implied volatility is not expensive, and I doubt that it is. Because I looked earlier, it's not on my screener. So let's add Adobe here. We can always swap it out if we see something better. Amazon, not loving it. Lower highs, lower lows. Nope. Apple. Lower highs, lower lows. This could go all the way to 147. That would be interesting down there. That would fill the gap at 147. Let's add Apple. Again, we don't have to keep them on here. If we see something better, we swap it out. You don't want to keep your watch list too big. I always do that. Okay. Broadcom. Ooh, Broadcom looking really good. Really, really good. This is a Pimp Mac Daddy descending wedge formation. Pop. Oh, I hope they drive this one down tomorrow. Look at this. Breakout. Look at the volume. This is awesome. And again, this is a stock that's where to close $581. I'm not going to be laying out the capital to buy the common shares. I'm going to be buying a call spread. Buy a deep in the money call option, simultaneously sell an out of the money call option. It limits your upside, but so what? You're not putting that much capital at risk, and you're long the stock. And it's a great setup. So AVGO, definitely AVGO. I always do that. I thought I got away with that a moment ago. When I did say Broadcom, I always say AVGO. AVGO. All right. Ooh, I like AVGO. Boeing. No. No loving it. BlackRock. Nah. Chipotle. No. Broke support. Coinbase. Broke support. If it breaks 61.51, it's going lower. Maybe down to a 50 handle. We'll revisit it then. CrowdStrike. Breaking down. Lower highs. Double top. This is probably going to break. This looks like a bear flag setup. Volume very high into the close. Lower highs on Stokes. This is going lower. Disney, 30-minute chart. Basing, not loving it. It's not a big mover. Highly liquid, but not a great setup. DocuSign, not loving it. It rallied. The horses left the stable here. This is the rally that you're looking for. You want, in this kind of a market, you want to buy these oversold conditions, ride them up for a couple of candlesticks. Once you hit resistance, get out. Too late to buy this one. Ultimately, this is going to get resolved to the downside. Domino's Pizza, I think they report either this week or next week. So this is off the table automatically. And it looks like it wants to go lower anyway. Google. Not a good setup. Outside reversal bar at the close. So no bueno for Google. Meta. Not loving it. It's so weak. The 30-minute, 50-period moving average is acting as an overhead ceiling. Microsoft, very expensive stock. Not a great setup. Not that it can't move up higher. Moderna, I think this is a dead company walking. If I had a short setup, I would buy it. Excuse me, I would short it. I would not buy the stock. Too much headline risk here. Maybe an intraday trade, but definitely not a overnight trade. Nike, this is going to break to lower lows, I think. I would avoid this. I think it breaks lower. It's not as short, way too late to get into the short side of it. Netflix, we're already short of this for disclaimer purposes or disclosure purposes. I think this breaks lower. Let's update this. This broke daily support today. There's your downtrend channel. I think we break lower. NVDA, I thought I replaced this chart. At around there's a gap to be filled down here. Right in this 20150 area would be interesting. I think this breaks lower, but 20150 on the video looks pretty good. PayPal, it's already run. Qualcomm, interesting. We're probably going to break lower here, but I think that we do have an opportunity to pick these shares up. So it's a toss up right now between NVIDIA, and Qualcomm. What we'll do is we'll go over to TrendSpider in a moment. We'll bring up the daily, weekly charts. We'll talk about where we may have historical support below and which one looks more attractive from a macro view. So stick around. We'll go over that in a moment. Shopify, breaking lower. Avoid. Target, breaking lower. Reporting earnings soon as well. Salesforce, breaking lower. Avoid. Twilio, breaking lower. Avoid. Tesla, we are short. Well, we have a strangle on it, but we have a ratio spread net short of Tesla. I think this could quite very well move lower. I wouldn't short it here. I wouldn't buy. I would not initiate a new short. I'll hold my own, but I wouldn't add more here. I wouldn't get long. Walmart, outstanding day today on Walmart. Outside reversal bar. One of the few stocks that are up. This is the stock that kept the consumer staple stocks up. I mean, they were far less down than the rest of the market. Consumer staples, they were down just over a third of a percentage point because of Walmart's reversal. Zoom, avoid going lower. We did BlackRock. Let's check in with the daily charts of NVIDIA. Let's go to come on, man. Take a water break. Wow, transpire, making me look bad. It's probably Chrome. All right. So, NVDA. This is a 15-minute chart. Let's go with a weekly chart first. Support at 196. We closed at 206. Wow. This could drop seriously, a lot lower. Now, what we're doing is watching here. We're not saying we're going in and buying tomorrow. We're looking for the setups. And I mean, if we can get NVIDIA down here, that would be exceptional. But that's going to be a bloody morning. If they gap it down, it's going to be a bloodbath getting down there. And given the price action of the market today, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to see it happen. So NVIDIA has a long way to drop before it hits a buy point. It's not giving me a percentage. Okay. Qualcomm. Qualcomm's a lot closer to a buy point. Qualcomm's going to have support at around 122.50. I like 121.19. Qualcomm catches the spot for our watch list with because I love NVIDIA. NVIDIA comes in a very, very attractive second place. All right. There we go. Qualcomm. Adobe, Apple, Qualcomm, AVGO, they make it to the top of the list. And that's it, folks. Thanks for being here. Again, folks, if you watch this on the replay, join the email list, 30-Minute Chart Club. We meet about twice a week, and we'd love to have you. And if you have any questions, shoot me an email or leave me a message on the replay. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.